Our Future of Faith series continues tonight in the Black church. Historically, it was the cornerstone of African American culture, and today it still is.
But it's had to evolve with time, addressing the impact of world issues on the lives of its parishioners and changing how they spread their message of faith to the young to ensure a successful future for the church.
A pastor from Olivet Institutional Baptist Church in Cleveland shared his thoughts on the church post-COVID, politics, and what's needed to reach young people with our Danita Harris.
Sounds of praise ring high at Olivet Institutional Baptist Church. Voices lifted up with encouraging words. There's hope, healing, and unity. It's what people need from the church.
It's always important when you talk about the Black church to put it in social historical context. Most communities rely on family to be the centerpiece of its society. Black people don't have that experience. It was the Black church which was the gathering point, which was the value building instrument that after slavery we had to rely on even as we were putting our families back together.
In 2020, the church tasked with not only uniting families, but also helping them to emotionally heal from a pandemic that shook the world.
Theologically, we had to reframe how we reached people. We were saying when people were worshiping at home, God is not in the church. God is everywhere. But then when COVID was over, we wanted to get people back into the church. And so, we had to help people to understand that, yes, God is everywhere, but there's something about gathering. And it's not just spiritual. Again, it's emotional. But it also helped us to really realize that our mission has to go deep within the soul and the psyche of people, really touching and connecting with people in their deepest levels.
Pastor Colvin shared another post-COVID challenge has been reaching the young, unchurched generation that doesn't have the same loyalty and connection to the church as generations past.
There are young people we see every day that pass by our church who this has been a part of their neighborhood, but they may have never been in these doors. And so for us, it's how do we reach them where they are? And that doesn't always begin simply with a message. Sometimes it begins with our ministry. When you think about the ministry of Jesus wasn't just messages, but it was also healing. It was also feeding. It was also communicating and touching and agreeing and connecting with people that society oftentimes would marginalize. And so we don't always connect with people at the first point with our theology or our preaching or even our singing. Sometimes it's our feeding ministry. Sometimes it's the work that we do through our CDC, workforce development, or women in transition.
The bottom line, Pastor Colvin says, is to meet people where they are.
Church also plays a role when things are happening in our world that affect us in regards to the racial divide, injustice, police brutality, even the latest election, presidential election. Tell me a little bit about that and the role the church plays.
It's interesting that you asked that question. The African American church is predominantly comprised of by Black women. And so when you looked at this most recent election, you saw an African American woman rise to a level of political ascendancy we had never seen.
Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory.
With her loss, there was a great deal of grieving.
Because we were hoping that we were at a historical moment.
We use this pulpit and this platform to be able to be present, to be a space and a place for emotional processing.
What do you see the future of faith being?
We're going to need a whole lot of it. When you think about the environment, when you think about the state of political unrest and uneasiness, when you think about inequities and disparities that exist in health, in wages, we're going to need faith to believe that a better future is possible. The future waits for us, but also we have to work for the future.
We also want to tell you about our Future of Faith special, which includes a roundtable discussion with many of the faith leaders featured in our series.
It will air December 25th. That's, of course, Christmas Day, 1 week from today at 6 p.m. And on Saturday, December 29th at noon. You'll see that right here on WKYC.